Warning. Warning. Warning.
Okay, brothers and sisters and misses and misters, here's your daddy-o with the sounds to go. No shucking, no jiving, I'm telling you, your music's arriving.
Hey, greetings, everybody. Sorry about that. I had a little bit of a reverb there. Had to turn off some stuff in the background. I'm Largo, I think. The Mutt Cam is on. That is Dulcinea having a nap. And happy Easter early. We're doing an Easter special here in the lounge. And to help us to really understand the confectionery conundrums that come from putting together an Easter basket, we have brought in a specialist. And if I can find the right button, I will introduce him right now. There he is.
Hey.
So hello,
Xazyl?
guys. I will say it is Good Friday here in Australia at the moment, but hanging out with you guys makes it the best Friday.
Aw,
Having me.
That's excellent.
that hits me right here. Right.
Couldn't be more
Right in the
excited
heart.
for this. Yes. And
Yes.
hey, just before we begin, I just pulled up the chat on the other side there, Jim, and you went ahead and did a poll there.
Yes, sir.
Very, I've got issues. Okay, first of all, best beard, right? Of course, it should just say Xazyl and no other options because obviously the man is known for his beard. But then you have Trigger on there, who is also Xazyl. So he has two beards. And then
Allegedly.
you have mine, which is like mine,
Not
which is
confirmed.
comparing, a child's doodle that you put on the refrigerator to like, a Da Vinci, a work of art, something fantastic. 'Cause I
Wilhelm.
know hours go into his.
Wilhelm, in a purely heterosexual way, I'm going to say you are a handsome, handsome man, and I'm digging the beard. So
No
I
Xazyl,
agree.
but I get by.
Now, Will, I voted for your beard only because it is majestic. It's got that salt and pepper look that the ladies love.
Sure.
Mine's just standard run-of-the-mill grow it on your face stuff, but you've put effort into yours. Now, and another reason why I think that yours gets my vote is because, in my opinion, you rock what you got. You don't let anyone beard shame you, and I appreciate a good beard.
Well,
Even
Indeed.
you, Jim Largo, rocking what you got there, mate. You should definitely be on the list of facial
It's
hair
just
aficionados.
that's
It,
the Shaggy, right? What is it?
this is the Shaggy. It comes and goes. Mostly when it starts to get itchy, it goes away. So Johnny
that the
Sorens is in the
flavor
house.
Johnny!
Indeed. All Meat Friday around here. Indeed. Rolando, nice to see you. Keith Knight's in the house. Stephen Sheets, a new subscriber. Good to see you. At ease,
Hey,
troops.
Steven.
And Bjorn is always 100% majestic. There's no doubt
He
about
is.
that. Daredevil Dave, good to see you.
Howdy, bud.
And if I'm If I missed anybody, apologies because the chat is a popping tonight. TJC, good to see you.
Hey,
And let's get this party off with a bang. Let's talk about one of Xazyl's favorite subjects, the Slaughterhouse Wrestling Championship.
let's
What
get
you got?
ready to rumble.
That's copyright, I think. Be careful.
Let's prepare to have a good time.
What you got cooking in the Slaughterhouse?
Oh, well, for those that don't know, the Slaughterhouse Wrestling Championship is, I believe the Joburg guys coin it as play motion, where basically I grab action figures, create a narrative around them, and puppeteer them. They don't have any issues, the Joburg guys don't have any issues having their hands in the shot. That's not really my style. I try to puppeteer them without having my hands in the shot so you can just enjoy the toys. I think I'm up to 5 episodes already. And I've got a bunch of great names already on board. For instance, in no order, I've had all the G.I. Joburg guys in there doing a voice. I've had Kelly Slaughter Daughter doing a voice. I've had Adam from Go Figure, Phil from Treasures for Trigger, Ken Poe. I've had Ryan Sweeney. I've had Fun School Ronnie did a voice. The Sergeant Slaughter not only does a live segment on it, like the old style G.I. Joe cartoons. Not only does he do a live segment for it, but he also does the voice for Super Cop, which is the Sergeant Slaughter repaint from Fun School, from the Rescue Squad.
And don't forget Space Commander. I know he's in there
And
somewhere.
I was just going to get to Space Commander. So in the bottom there, Space Commander does the voice for Action Man. Action Man,
Cool.
full force. And as you can see, Action Man is wearing the Space Commander hat, and he will be returning in space form.
Oh, awesome.
He's pulling double duty because he'll be voicing Space Commander and Action Man in a spacefaring adventure. But coming up next for the Slaughterhouse Wrestling Championship. Now, I don't want to give too much away, but if anyone wants to go back and check out those, I won't give away the reasons why. But the next episode of the Slaughterhouse Wrestling Championship is being put on hiatus. And so while it's on hiatus, we're actually doing something a bit different, and it is the Mr. T A-grade team boxing challenge, and we're going to have Bullrog versus Big Boa.
Yeah.
So we've got
I'm
a
pumped.
match coming up.
I saw your videos. Your animation.
Oh yeah,
The short
good stuff.
put out. Oh, they were great.
I am digging those boxing robes. Were those custom made for you, sir?
I'm also diggling them. So these are homemade. I didn't make them. I don't have that kind of skill. I can barely tie up my own shoelaces, which is why I wear a slip-on. But my wife made these. I gave her a project, and she ran with it. And I think she cursed me every step of the way. But she did an amazing job. Blue versus red, or red versus blue, classic colors. And I think this is a matchup that was just waiting to happen. As soon as the Street Fighter 2 guys entered into the G.I. Joe world, these two were destined to go up against each other. So we'll have to wait and see who's going to win. Bullrog, will Bullrog pass? You shall not pass, or will he? When he goes up against the biggest of the boas, Big Boa.
Absolutely amazing. You guys got to check it out if you haven't been there. But Xazyl, there's one video on your channel in particular that I watch all the time, and that is let's head back to the Slaughterhouse. The Slaughterhouse.
Right.
The Slaughterhouse video cracks me up every time I watch it. I just love it. The way you cut it together, just fantastic. If you guys haven't seen it, you got to go watch it. But
that was a
very
fun
cool
one to make. It was humorous to me, just the thought of it. And so I thought, you know what? Hey, Ken. I was just talking about you, Ken.
And Gojitron's in the house as well.
Hey,
I know nothing about wrestling unless it's being done by men in rubber monster suits. Fair.
Yeah, that counts. That counts.
Yeah. Kaiju is kind of wrestling.
yeah.
They got some moves.
But yeah, that's
So-
one of those videos that just, if I'm in a bad mood, I watch that and it cheers me right up. So thank you for that.
Well, I'm glad I could cheer you up on a bad day.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, we are on an actual live stream, nothing pre-recorded. As you can hear, the rooster is live as well. So I don't have anything in the description below at the moment, but I will add Xazyl's channel and references there. Perhaps, Will, if you can pop that into the chat, at least a
Will
link
do.
to,
Mhm.
that would be groovy. And yes, Bjorn is a big fan of wrestling and quite knowledgeable. And we're going to be delving into some of that in the near future with Beasties and Baddies. So, what else we got going here? Speaking of wrestlers, I found a picture that I wanted to share with our friends. I don't know how many people have seen this. It was a revelation to me. I'm very familiar with the Sarge in his iconic uniform of the campaign hat, the shades, the military fatigues, but this image is just pure Americana, baby. Gorgeous locks, got the red, white, and blue robe. He's patriotic as all get out. And apparently this was in All Japan Wrestling in 1975. Xazyl, do you know much about this era of the Sarge's career?
this is beautiful Bobby Remus before he became Sergeant Slaughter. He was trying out a few gimmicks. He grew his hair out. He colored it blonde and threw on the red, white, and blue. Classified.
Very cool.
Give her the web shooters. She likes to use that emoji. Pew, pew, pew. But yeah, this was back before he came up with that gimmick. He was wrestling like that. All natural hair. He grew it himself.
Yeah, it looks luxurious. Look at that.
The Sarge has what he likes to call wave it hair. Basically, he says that it's wave it goodbye.
Well, the Sarge is what we call vintage now. So,
right.
It's all good.
Still rocking the mustache, though. But I think after this, I'm not sure if it was before this or after this, he became the Super Destroyer Mark II. And he was fully masked on that one before finding his feet and, his audience by becoming Sergeant Slaughter and just pretty much off into the stratosphere with Space Commander when he came up with that gimmick.
Very cool. I just found this kind of interesting. So wanted to share. Speaking of gorgeous, yes.
Sorry. So just before we do move on from that, there is some great videos on Slaughter Daughter's channel about the early days of Sergeant Slaughter, if you want to go and check that out. He's also been on my channel, talked about some of his experiences in Japan. So those are the two best places to go, in my opinion, for Sergeant Slaughter content, other than right here, right now.
Cool.
Yeah, and some of those live streams you do with Kelly Slaughter daughter and Sergeant Slaughter, where he goes over some of the old wrestling stories, and on your channel and on her channel, she is an absolute joy to watch. Her interact with her father and you, those things. I mean, I'm grinning the entire time I watch one of those streams. So nothing but good vibes there. Love them.
Speaking of Japan, there's our favorite Kiwi,
and I've got my Xazyl figure right here.
Very cool.
Nice. I'm still waiting on mine.
I'm gonna have you sign it when I see you at Joe Fest.
I'll wait at the booth.
Yeah.
Very cool. Nice to see you, Eldor. Glad to have you in the house.
And Handsome Man Ratface I saw as well. I don't know if we mentioned.
Yes. Good to see you, James. Thanks for coming into the lounge. So we're not doing a whole lot of wrestling tonight because it is the Passover celebration, the Easter. And but before we get into that, I'm not saying they were separated at birth. I'm just saying there is a similarity there. I'll just leave that where it is. But rocking that photo, beautiful beard.
That photo that you've taken there, I was talking to Sarge during this. I was actually at a food court at the local shopping center or shopping mall. I was in a food court. And I got an alert saying that Sergeant Slaughter was going live for a live signing. I was like, well, I can't pass up on this opportunity to not only support my hero by paying for some of his time, but also been able to have a full-on conversation with him. And so this was sitting outside the food court, having a chat with Sergeant Slaughter. I think it was 80s Wrestling Con might have been the promotion that was doing it. But yeah, it was online on some Facebook thing. But my beard isn't looking that great there. It's a bit messy, and that's probably because I was just
it's a bit beardy.
It is a bit beardy.
The giant grin, it definitely makes sense if you're talking with the Sarge. I can understand where that's coming
That's why the
from.
shades are on. This isn't a selfie. This is a live talking to Sarge. But I can see the similarities between me and Trigger. It can only, I mean, you could say it's a coincidence, sure, but I mean, come on.
I don't
That's
think so.
definitely me.
Yeah.
I mean, all I gotta say is
Yeah.
Bobby
What's
Vallo's
that, Will?
working hard at his desk. He looks up. He sees the beard glowing. He sees, the just the shine around Xazyl as he's watching one of the Sarge streams, and
Definitely could have been some
consciously
inspiration.
or unconsciously, it's in the line now. So yeah,
Indeed.
Well,
We'll just say Trigger is your brother from another mother.
that I can accept.
All righty. And Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures in the house. Glad you
Hey,
could make
Bill.
it to the lounge. All righty. So, moving right along, let's get into the goodies. Now, I talked with Xazyl earlier this week and asked him to give me some ideas of what kind of confectionery goodies and sweeties they have over in Australia. And he was kind enough to send me a few images. This is one I found particularly interesting. G.I. Joe. Now, is this an ice cream or a lolly? What am I looking at here?
Yeah, so it would be we call them icy poles, but you might call them an ice block or a icy. I don't know. It's flavored ice.
Okay. Yeah, we'd kind of call it a popsicle, I think, is the most
Popsicle. There you
colloquial.
go. But I don't know. It may not be actually because I'm seeing raspberry jelly and vanilla with lightning lemonade. So maybe it's also. My memory is that it was a icy pole, but it could also be a flavored. It's
like
definitely
like a pudding pop. Remember
It
they
could
had,
also
the
be a pudding
frozen
pop.
Pudding pops.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
Could
got a
also be
little
a
bit of
pudding
that in there. Yeah.
Now, I'm going to get yelled at by the Joe fans. Is that dial tone or is that the
Yes.
other guy? That is
That's
dial tone.
That is
yeah.
dial tone.
I always get the two mixed up, and I'm really surprised to see the fridge on a promotion. That's really going way back.
It looks
So
like they had
for
quite
me-
a few of them.
Well, they
8,000.
had is 8,000 enough? So for me, this was the I didn't enter into this promotion. I was too busy trying to find a Sergeant Slaughter. Not that I wasn't a fan of the refrigerator, but
Sure.
From memory, this was the only way that we could get the fridge in Australia. However, having spoken to other G.I. Joe collectors in Australia since, there may have been other options like the mail-in stuff. But the mail-in stuff for me in the packets, it always said USA and Canada only. So I never bothered sending anything in. So from my memory...
Right. For the mail-aways, certain countries were excluded? I did not know that.
Right.
That's
so
a bummer.
Yeah, so from my, which is why I never mailed away for a Sarge either, because I saw them in the catalogs, but they were for America and Canada only. But speaking to people like Lilith, they said that they were able to order one through the catalog. So maybe there were later catalogs that offered Australian postage. But this was the one and only time I ever remember seeing an offer for the fridge in Australian in the Australian market. And it says 8,000 action figures to be won. Is that the fridge or is that just you get what you get?
Yeah, so see
No
your
clue.
offer for details. And then Paul's. Is that a very popular brand over there?
Yeah, so Paul's at the time was probably the biggest one. Paul's and Peter's. Anyone starting with P, if you had a P name and you made an ice cream, we'd buy it.
Okay.
So Peter and Paul.
Yeah.
Ooh,
They had the
breaking
market.
news from Gojitron. I just discovered that a local supermarket here sells Tim Tams. And I'm
Nice.
quite happy. It is Australia's favorite chocolate biscuit.
It sure is.
We'll
I'll tell
have
later
to
on when
try
we get
one
to it. I'll tell you the correct way to consume a Tim Tam.
Oh, good.
Excellent. We
It's
always
orally.
enjoy in mass quantities.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
On a fistful.
So this kind of got me going down the rabbit hole of Joe candies and bits, and I found this oddity from 2003. This was a miniature G.I. Joe canteen candy container with what they called G.I. Joe gum bits with a Z, made by Cap Candy. And according to the sources I have looked at, they all said this was god awful candy. It was like the worst. But
all of those novelty containers had the same tasting candy. Like just looking at it, I could taste those gum bits, and they were probably like really hard. Probably had very little chew to them. The flavor was gone in seconds. You know,
Shat
and
in your mouth like glass.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, reminiscent of the little sticks of gum you'd get with your trading cards back in the day.
Well, do you reckon this is just the bits that they sweeped up off the bottom of the factory floor? It's like, these aren't whole gum balls. These aren't whole gum strips. These are just bits and pieces. What are we going to do? Throw it in a canteen. Kids will eat anything.
That's right. And bits were born, and apparently they were not well loved. But strangely, the same year this came out, which was a home run. The G.I. Joe versus Cobra plastic canteen with Dots candy. The Dots candy was cool. It had a little container in the front, and you could actually put water in it. So you could carry your canteen on the strap with water and have
in
your
the
candy
woods
bits.
Playing, G.I. Joe with your friends. You've got your, Xazyl's got his stick that's shaped like a gun. We our toy guns, whatever it is. And then you're like, really, really worn down. You're like, okay, hold up, guys.
Yeah.
Then you open the pouch, a handful of gum. I'm ready to go another round.
Yeah, there's nothing like the taste of real canteen water. For those who you have served and have drank out of a canteen, you know that icky plastic taste. I'm sure this definitely had that going for it. So
all we had as kids were the taste of the hose water. You never,
and you were happy to have it.
That's
but
right.
never take the first drink because it's lava hot. You always wait to let it cool off. Let the dumb kid go first and get the hot one.
Yeah, that was my younger brother. You'd hold the hose and you go, "Is it on?" I was like, "Yeah, look down the end. Is it?"
Oh my god! Yeah. Classic.
Classic. This is how. Yes, these are survival skills that little brothers learn from elders.
Absolutely.
No regrets.
Moving right along.
Whoa!
Everybody was in on this. We had Ultra Magnus. We had Alf. These were out of this world.
Peter's versus Paul's.
Nice. So very cool. Competing candies or ice creams. I think these are.
Well, they would have been probably out at different times. Imagine being able to get an ice cream for 40 cents. Getting anything for 40 cents. So I was a sucker for any ice cream that had a face on it. So my favorite ice cream now on a stick and has always been is the Buffalo Bill. I don't know if you guys have that.
Yes. Oh my God, Buffalo Bill. Yeah, I love him.
Love Buffalo Bill.
Do you remember Fat Frog?
Yes.
It was like the Alf, but it was a frog with gumball eyes.
Right. So Buffalo Bill had a face. He had a big gumball nose. He still does. We had Buffalo Jill a couple of years ago, just to spread the joy. But if it had a face, I'd give it a try. So we had a cartoon show called Agro's Cartoon Connection, and that guy got one. I'm trying to think who else had one. Basically, and the thing that we used to do, if it had a chocolate backing, we would remove the chocolate backing so that you could have the double face.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyone in the chat remember who else had an ice cream with a face on it? Let us know. I've forgotten.
I'm sure there's a few characters out there. Now, did you get these at the supermarket, or did you actually have like an ice cream truck that would come around the neighborhood like some of us did?
Yeah, like a bit of both. If you heard that ice cream van, you would be scrounging for coins. You'd go underneath the lounge. You'd be lifting up the sofa cushions, just trying to find loose change. Or you beg, "Mom, please let me get an ice cream, please." And then you've got the menu board. And I know that, they generally, if they were on a ice cream truck, you weren't paying 40 cents for an Ultra Magnus. You're probably paying 80 cents. But
Right.
but these would have
Johnny
also
says
been,
that 40 cents was 2 credits on Golden Axe. So forget the candy. He's going for the video games.
yeah. I mean, sure. But Golden Axe doesn't come to you, whereas an ice cream truck will. But they
That
would
is
have
true.
also been in the delis. They would have also been in the corner stores, probably supermarkets at the time. Some form or fashion.
That was
Yeah.
that was a revelation in growing up and finding out you could buy the whole box of them for like $2 or $3. And as a kid, you just go to the corner store, the deli, and buy one for, let's just say, $1. And then you realize, wait, I could just buy a whole 12-pack of them and have all of them. I don't know. Just you never realize.
Well, there
My
is still
parents never
something
bought that.
magical about having someone drive by. I mean, if you think about it now, it's a little bit weird. But back when you're a kid, chasing after that ice cream van, there was something magical about that. And I still hear every now and again the sounds of an ice cream truck. And I wonder, is that real or am I just having a flashback?
Fair enough. Gojitron mentions Spider-Man
Yeah.
was ice cream on a
cool,
stick.
yeah.
And
And
Rat
Ninja
Face was
Turtles.
saying Ghost Popsicle. Garfield had one.
What is a
There was
ghost
one of
popsicle?
It looked like a
That's
ghost.
after you finished it.
Oh yeah.
Just a
It's just the
stick.
stick.
Yeah, it's just a stick. They're selling sticks for 30 cents. Oh, yeah, Garfield.
it.
Nice. Cool.
And Snoopy, apparently, according to the Epic Badger.
Cool. Nice. All right. Quite a few.
Lot. Oh yeah, good stuff. And
I like that
moving on
easy,
from
Ultra
there.
easy marketing, right? It's just you make a
Oh,
shape,
yeah.
you make it an ice cream, you sell it for extra because it's on TV. It's beautiful marketing.
Now, this one, I have to say, the marketing is a little bit suspect because they say these are true to life shapes of He-Man and Skeletor. I'm not seeing
Looks legit.
So these are from an ice cream brand called Streets. So they've gone. Paul and Peters are now like, okay, we've got some competition here on the streets. You don't mess with the streets. But yeah,
Right.
these are. If you found these in an adult store, I would not be surprised, given the weird shapes that they have. I won't say any more than that. But for 35 cents, you can try and get your mouth around He-Man and Skeletor.
Say no more.
Yeah.
Say no more, Squire.
He says, I have the power. And then Skeletor says, I'm not licked yet. just, they put it
Not
on there.
licked yet,
Yeah.
He-Man.
Oh, the puns, the puns. And are these trading cards here in the center that I'm looking at?
So ordinarily, I found this this picture on Twitter, and
Okay.
these were jellies. So they were He-Man jellies. But the thing is, this box has only been just found recently, and so they've lost all their color. They've all gone black.
Oh, interesting.
They would have been colored according to the character, basically.
Weird.
They would have had limitations because it's candy, but
Sure.
there would have been reds in there and blues in there and whatever in there to try and make it look a little bit poppier. But yeah, over time they all went black. Apparently, I'd still give it a try though. I'd still try it.
Would you really?
Like a true to life
Yeah.
shape He-Man.
We'll get into some of the evil black candies shortly. TJC says, I remember a Transformers ice lolly in the shape of Optimus Prime. Can't remember the brand, though. Probably the same guys that did the Magnus there. And yes, the Ghost Popsicle had a bubblegum nose. This is quite a few of them, either bubblegum
I've never
nose
seen
or
a ghost
eyes.
in my life, so yeah, I don't recall ever seeing a picture of a ghost with a nose.
Yeah, I think the company here in the States was Good Humor, it was called, right? And they had all those
Yes.
novelty ice pops. Yeah.
They
Good
did.
Humor.
So if your Ghost Pop didn't have a nose, how did he smell? Just awful. I'm sure. All right. But enough dad jokes. Let's move on.
The good thing about a bubblegum nose when you've got an ice cream is you got a bubblegum and you got an ice cream.
Yeah. It's like a little snack after a snack.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I have never
these were
seen these.
I love these so much. So these came out during the height of the Ninja Turtles popularity. So we had probably the same thing you guys had with the trading cards, the bubblegum stickers, and all of those other sort of novelty treats. But these came through. I can't remember who actually sold them, but I remember thinking that some of the flavors were a bit suspicious, right? Leonardo lemonade. Okay, I get that. Okay. Michelangelo Tango. It's like, all right, we're pushing the edge here of what probably is and isn't, a bit orange flavor. But I'm like, why is Donatello raspberry when you could have easily made Raphael raspberry, and then I would have accepted Donatello as cola. But why wasn't Donatello like a grape flavor?
That's a good question. Inquiring minds want to know.
I did not ever see these as a kid, so these completely escaped me. I don't think these were available stateside here, but maybe they were. I don't know. I remember the turtle pudding pies with mutagenic vanilla ooze or whatever in the green shell. Little pies that you would eat, pudding pies. They were delicious.
Yeah, so guys in the chat, if you saw these in the continental U.S. somewhere, let us know, because I don't remember seeing these myself.
I'm almost certain these were Australian only, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm willing to accept that I'm wrong. Although, given that most of the what do they call them, factories that produce soft drinks or soda pop do it in their own country, if you weren't making it. If you weren't making it in your country, I can't think of why they would export it. Not in those days, anyway.
Right, because they would just print the labels for whatever they were. I want to say distilling, but that's another kind of thing. Epic Badger says this reminds me of the TMNT cereal. Fun fact: you can recreate the TMNT cereal with corn checks and Lucky Charm marshmallows. Did not know that.
Interesting. I have seen YouTube channels where they try to recreate the turtle pie. So bakers will grab and make some pie crust and then, put the green glaze on top. And they say it tastes just like it, but who knows? They haven't made them in 30 years. So,
I always wanted to try a Ninja Turtles inspired pizza like they did, with like marshmallows and stuff.
Yeah,
on the
sure.
Oof. Daredevil Dave says this is the first time ever seeing these. Same here. I hadn't seen them before Xazyl introduced them to me. And Johnny Sorensen says, kids, don't eat the TMNT soap.
But it looks so good.
It's shiny in pretty colors. And the turtle pie. Sorry about that.
What?
Turtle pie was terrible. And a bad mark of my beloved.
Remove this gentleman from chat. I don't know what he's saying.
He is a baker, and so he has a more refined palate than us poor schlebs. So I understand where he's coming from.
I don't think
we will agree to disagree.
It still bothers me the flavor picks for these characters. Still to this day. I mean, Michelangelo should have been orange flavored, but I can accept Tango. Lemonade, yep, fine. But come on, Raph. Come on, Donnie. What do you got? What do you got here? Who's doing this? Give me grape.
Indeed. TJC says Lion's Made was the brand that did a lot of the ice lollies that the local ice cream van had. Okay.
Very nice. Cool.
Yeah, for where I lived in the States, I think most of it was Good Humor was the brand. But who knows? Yeah. It may be just different names in different countries. It might all be the same conglomerate.
Sure. Yeah.
And what do we got next? Oh, now this is one.
Yes.
I remember these when I lived in Scotland, and they're yummy. But I didn't really understand the significance of them in relationship to Easter. Is this an Easter tradition in Australia as well as the UK?
Sure is. They start pumping these out months before Easter comes around. But yeah, they're very good heated up with some butter on them or margarine, depending on your preference. I don't have a preference; they both taste good to me. But yeah, toast them up. I'm used to as a kid having the fruity flavored ones, but they're playing around with the flavors of them now, where you can have chocolate ones and whatever. But yeah, these are great. The
These
cross.
were always available in the Northeast, not so much in the South. So I don't see them here, but yeah, in the Northeast United States, you see these all over.
Yeah, I think it's a tradition that carried over with immigrants coming, and that makes sense. East Coast, a lot of folks from the UK and other parts of
Yeah.
Europe that settled
Just
there.
one of those
and they
things.
bring that.
Until I saw them, I kind of I don't remember seeing them in the supermarket so much down here. So it could just be something that doesn't come down here too often.
That's true, Phil. Americans don't have hot cross buns. We have sesame seeds on our buns because we love McDonald's.
So we used to have to play on the recorder in
It's the only song I know.
the hot cross bun song. How much are they? They're
Right.
1 a penny or 2 a penny. So if you can get 2 for a penny, why would you get 1?
Indeed.
I'll get 2
So-
for a penny.
A little bit of lore, because that's what we do here. In Ireland, the UK, and as far abroad as New Zealand, Australia, Canada, and India, hot cross buns are eaten every Good Friday in Christian communities. Each bun is decorated with a cross made of flour paste, which represents the cross on which Christ died. The spices in hot cross buns are said to represent the spices that were used to embalm Christ after his death. Kind of somber, but very symbolic. Now this I didn't know. Although now associated with Easter, it is believed that hot cross buns predate Christianity. During the pagan festival of Estare, in which they celebrated the goddess Eostre, where we get the name Easter from, the Saxons prepared and ate buns marked with a cross. The cross on those buns is thought to have represented the 4 quarters of the moon.
Interesting.
Okay. Yep.
Now you know, and knowing is half the battle.
Yo, Joe.
Indeed. Or full force.
Full force.
And what do we got going on here? Classified says the chocolate hot cross buns and the apple cinnamon heated with butter. So good. That does sound
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, these were a staple growing up. Every year we would have these. So
Nice. Yeah, imported European snacks are rare in the West. When I lived on the left coast, we didn't get a lot of goodies out there. Keith Knight, good to see you, buddy. The history of hot cross buns goes back to the 12th century in England. A monk baked some on Good Friday, and it just became traditional. There you go.
Okay, cool. We're learning stuff today.
That's right. Knowledge, like lightning hitting my brain. So, going on from that, let's talk about Australian lollies, candy, and sweets.
That kangaroo, that was probably a few seconds before a fatal impact.
Well, he is on the road. Somebody's taking that picture. So,
Yeah.
Who knows?
Get off the dang road.
So while we have a resident Aussie in the house, we wanted to ask about some of the confectionery goodies that you guys enjoy over there that kind of make some of us Yanks scratch our head a bit. So
Aussie.
let's
Let's
test some knowledge.
Yeah.
This one, a lot of us know this one. It's the Great Tim Tams. Making Australia proud since 1964. They have made their way to some markets in the States, and they are yummy.
0.5 star rating, but that's not a 0. So I was going to mention the best way to eat a Tim Tam, and I'm sure you guys are probably already familiar with this, but if you're not, once you do it this way, you're never going to do it any other. So you get your hot beverage, right? Whether it be a cup of tea, but the perfect thing to do, if it's not coffee, is what we have here called Milo, or a hot chocolate will work just as well, right? You take as it's a rectangle, you bite the tip of one end of the rectangle, and then the opposite end of that, you bite the other tip of that, and then you use it like a straw. So you use it like a straw, bring in your hot chocolate, or you bring in your coffee or whatever.
How big are these? I've never had these. Are they?
I reckon they're about the size of a G.I. Joe. if not a little
really?
bit bigger.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a bit bigger than that. Maybe a bit bigger than that.
Oh,
It's a
and you could
tasty
just-
biscuit.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's the most elegant thing you could do. Eloquent thing. I'm not saying you're going to look. Don't do this in fine dining situations.
on a mission to try these now because I've never had.
We
them.
have
They look fascinating.
Yes, we have triggered the epic badger. Now he is craving lion bars, double deckers, and what's that one? The Maltesers.
Maltesers.
I'm not familiar with those.
They're chocolate malt balls.
Ooh, yeah. I think we have something similar we call Whompers. And Phil can even get these in Japan. They are a global winner. Absolutely.
So Phil, do you do the straw thing? I don't know. There must be another word for it. But afterwards, when you can't do it indefinitely. You do it one time. Don't keep trying to drink your hot chocolate through the one Tim Tam. It will disintegrate in your hands.
I was going to say, once you get a bit soggy.
Once you've done that, you then consume the Tim Tam because now it's warm inside. It's gooey. It's got that chocolate taste. Oh, now I want one. What am I doing with my life? Need it.
Well, you do have the advantage of having the wife nearby. You could send her to the store for some Tim Tams, and as long as you share, she'd probably make the trip. TJC says these look like penguin bars. Maybe similar. I'm not familiar with the penguin bar, but
so TJC, if I send you some Tim Tams and you send me some penguin bars, we can do a little taste test and see if they're similar.
There you go. Cross-cultural palates. Nice.
Let's give that a try.
Classified says, I have never done it, surprisingly. Don't have the patience. I just opened the bag and ate it. Yes. Two-fisted eating of the Tim Tams is well recommended.
Just shove one in your mouth, pour some hot coffee.
Yes.
So I just looked on Amazon. They have Tim Tams here. I could get an entire pack, the family pack, for $16.93 for 20 count. That seems expensive. Are these
That does seem expensive.
Okay. So
I'll just send you some, buddy. Don't worry about it. I'll send you some.
And Phil treasures for trigger with a good safety tip. Beginners should start sucking through milk and not a hot drink so that they don't
be a wuss, Phil. Just straight off the bat. If you burn your mouth, you burn your mouth.
It's the price of the joy of the Tim Tam. Keith says, I am happy to be a chocolate dealer from the UK. That's right. He does send some great care packages to friends in the community. So
That's
good
great.
on you.
I could bring them to work and kind of dole them out and be like, I know a guy.
Right. Yep.
You can make $16 for one Tim Tam.
Yep. Sure. Sounds like a plan. We got some
You
cultural
got it, dude.
exchange going on. Very cool. Let's move along. We all love the Tim Tams, but this one got my head scratching a little bit. Now, we have the chocolate bunny around the Easter time. We do not have the chocolate platypus. Now, I found two varieties here. We have Puddles, the platypus, and the other one is named Pip from two competing companies.
Mm-hmm.
Both offer chocolatey goodness in platypus form.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Puddles is a little bit better of a deal because you also get the platypus eggs with him. And these, if you buy them, they do give money to wildlife conservation in Australia. So kudos for that.
$2 off the bill.
Yeah, an important thing here. The Puddles, the platypus, is made with love in Australia. We don't know where Pip is made. And they don't advertise love. So I would just say,
buyer beware.
I will say several years ago, there was a big push to change it from the Easter bunny to because rabbits here are a plague. We have a plague of bunnies. Right? Rabbits. Yeah. We got a big rabbit problem. So they were trying to push it to make it the bilby, which is a marsupial here. But a just as good is a platypus, in my opinion. And I imagine that these are novelty specialty made at a specialty chocolate store or somewhere specifically for probably Easter. They're definitely not something I've seen personally, but I'm not surprised to see them.
Fair enough. Thanos Copter, good to see you. Glad you could drop by the lounge. And Keith, I got to agree, buddy. Platypus does make more sense because bunnies do not lay eggs.
I've never seen a bunny lay eggs, but then just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Fair enough. You know, if Xazyl falls in the woods, does a trigger hear it? I don't know. It's a mystery.
Yeah.
Oh,
Danger,
yes.
danger. So even a koala would have been a better idea for us over here. However, koalas are riddled with chlamydia for reasons I don't know, and I swear it wasn't me.
Oh
You can't
boy,
prove it.
we'll have to
Sounds like
ask.
something that started in
yes.
Florida and then made
I was going
its
to say
way.
we'll have to ask Tony from Analog Toys if he can shed some light on that, because
Stop
rumor,
giving out
rumor has it
chlamydia.
the desert rat does get around. So from platypuses to another head scratcher for me. Now, Xazyl, in the United States, musk is a scent. It's something Ron Burgundy wears. It's not something that we consider a flavor. Please explain, because apparently, according to Sweden, this made it into their disgusting food museum. But musk sticks are considered to be deliciously misunderstood. Please enlighten us, sir.
So I'm trying to think of what the equivalent would be. So do you guys have the candy that is like a giant cigar? What do they call that? Big. Did you guys ever have a candy cigar when you were kids? Did you have the candy cigarettes as kids?
We had the candy cigarettes. Yes.
So the texture is similar. The flavor is I don't know. I couldn't explain it to you. It's just like musk.
Chalky and like
it's chalky. Yeah, it's chalky.
Yeah.
I can't explain it, but it's definitely a thing. Definitely old people seem to enjoy it. And kids that are pretending to smoke cigarettes. Don't smoke, kids.
That's right. Epic Badger's curious. If somebody gives you a chocolate emu, is that a declaration of war?
Well, no, because you're consuming it, which is in our mind a short fire way for victory.
Okay. I can't argue with that.
Look up the emu war. We lost a couple of times.
Wow.
We're still losing.
There was some cool box art on some of those. The candy cigarettes, they had like drawn art to emulate some of the popular brands that the adults were smoking. So back before that became politically incorrect.
Well, I'm not a cigarette smoker, and I think that's because I got my fill of it as a kid. And I think there's more kids smoking today because they don't have the candy cigarettes. If you just let us wean off smoking with candy cigarettes, then we'll never take it up. I smoked one time in high school because I thought it would look cool, and let me tell you, I did not look cool.
A little green around the gills, I imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Now, these just had fun names, so I wanted to ask about these Cheekies and Fizz Whiz Sherbet.
Yeah. So the Whiz Fizz is probably the smartest marketing for a kid ever, because you get a little shovel and you get a bag of sherbet. Now, you guys know what sherbet is, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Right. So all you do is you dig the shovel in the sherbet and then you shovel it in your mouth. And it's only a little tiny shovel. So, it gets wet because it's been in your mouth, and then it sort of accumulates sherbet in the shovel, and then you got to sort of I don't want to say the word tonguing, but you have to tongue the shovel to get the remainder of the sherbet. Nobody just funnels in sherbet into their face. You've got to dig for it. It's like you got to earn that treat. Cheekies, when they were rebranding, they were known as Chico Babies, and they rebranded it to Cheekies because people are sensitive, and I don't know.
Yes, I can see where that might be a little politically correct in some.
Have you ever had them?
What's that?
The Cheekies, because they look chocolate, but then they have jelly on the inside. Is that right?
No. So do you guys have jelly babies or no?
We have gummy bears, which are not quite the same. They're
different.
They're a gelatin base. They're not like a. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna have to just send you some of this stuff, and we'll have to come back to this at another day, because it's like a candy, like a soft jelly candy for the Jelly Babies. They're all
Right.
a bunch of colors and different flavors. They decided to package just the chocolate ones, which have a slightly different texture to the regular Jelly Babies, but they don't even really taste like chocolate necessarily either. It's like its own distinct flavor. It says chocolate, it looks like chocolate, but it definitely doesn't taste like chocolate, but it does taste great. So I'll send you guys I'll send you some Tim Tams, I'll send you some Cheekies.
We'll have to revisit this and do a taste test. Gojitron with some sound medical advice. If you have fizz in your whiz, call your urologist right away. Thank you for that.
If they ever rebrand this to something else, it might. No, let's move on.
Oh boy, yes, this one was interesting. Help me with the pronunciation. This is the Wicheti grub. Am I saying that correctly?
Well, I don't know how the Aboriginal people. I don't know how they pronounce it, but as Aussie kids, we were calling it Wichety grubs.
Wichety. Thank you.
Wichety. They probably call it something much more eloquent than I am saying it, but that's how we said it. Me and my compatriots, primary school compatriots. They are definitely available in two forms: natural and candy.
Yes. Now the lollies are in the bag. The other one is fresh out of wherever they dug it out of a tree or wherever they find these things. It is a live grub and a larva that is considered a great source of protein for the Aborigines. And if you're out in the bush, apparently you should try this. It's one of those challenges that you got to try. From what I've been told, because I have not sampled this myself, if you eat them raw, it has kind of an almond flavor. If you cook them, it tastes a little bit like scrambled eggs or chicken.
So
Xazyl, do you have any experience?
I tried them as a kid. So we were living in the Northern Territory, outback Australia, and we went on a school excursion, which was going from somewhere that had red dirt to another place that sort of had less red dirt. But there was an Aboriginal elder. I said Eldor then because of Eldor. There was an Aboriginal elder there, and it was offered up to us to try. A lot of us decided no, but then a bunch of us were like, "Yeah, we're going to give it a shot." I don't remember if it tasted like almonds or eggs or chicken. I just remember saying, "This is a bug." And it tasted like a bug.
Well, according to Phil, the Kiwis call these hoo-hoo grubs, and apparently they taste like peanut butter.
Okay, there you go.
I think
So maybe they're flavored differently in other parts of the world, but I mean, it doesn't. It looks like the real one looks like a piece of candy, right?
Yeah. Eddie Rodriguez is saying they call these coconut worms.
Okay. So yep, I can see that. If anyone in the chats have tried them, can you give us the actual flavor profile as to your experience? I've definitely eaten more of the candy than I have of the actual bush tucker.
Yeah, the candy looks very familiar. That looks like the circus peanuts. It's kind of like a firmer marshmallow type substance.
Yep, I believe that's true.
And they sell them shaped like giant, orange peanuts in here in the States, and they sell those. And it's kind of
Goji is excited for these because this reminds him of it's like eating a bag of baby Mothras. And being the kaiju fan he is, I'm sure he could tuck in.
Yeah, but I'll take everyone's word for that. I am not an adventurous eater. You keep your bugs and your testicles and all those weird things.
I will keep my testicles, Bill.
Yes.
I will never eat them.
We call those Rocky Mountain oysters. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm not going to get fooled with that when I get over to you guys.
Now, as a good palate cleanser, a bit of eucalyptus. It's not just for koalas anymore, kids. Eucalyptus is good for everybody. And they call these Aussie drops. Are these a popular mainstay of your confectionaries?
Well, I mean, I don't consume copious amounts of them, but if one is offered to me, like, hey, would you like a eucalyptus drop? I'm like, yeah, I'll give it. Why not? I'll suck in one of those bad boys. But they're popular if you like eucalyptus. they're not necessarily medicinal, but they have natural medicinal purposes. And as I was saying before, they will definitely clear up your sinuses. If you've got a blocked nose, you just suck on one of these, and then you're like, "Oh, that's good stuff."
That's brisk.
Yeah, that
So-
stuff hits.
We have Hall's mentholatum, which is very similar. It has the menthol. Some of them, I think, they may have the eucalyptus in it because they definitely give that same kind of zest. Now this one, there's just I don't have words. Qualipoo, made proudly in Australia by the label.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, product of Australia, where you would imagine it would be. But the the thing is like there seems to be in every single country there seems to be someone marketing some animal's poo for kids, and kids just seem to want to eat it up. So is there a problem where kids are picking up the real stuff and trying to eat them? Hey, pains.
That is a very good question.
Now they're like, look, we can't let them keep walking around eating this stuff. We need to make them something to eat. It's not quite. Even the koala in the box is like, don't eat that. What are you doing?
Apparently, in the northwest of the United States, they have deer poo or reindeer poo, which is pretty much the same idea. It's a little chocolate button, and
it's a novelty. What's the kid going to eat?
Exactly.
If you offer a kid a chocolate button or a piece of koala poo, what are they going to go for? They're like, actually, I'll let it go.
There you go. Not to be outdone by our friends on the other side of the globe, the Friends of Wisconsin have brought us the cow pie. Nummy nummy. Made
The fresh pecans is where
dairy. I like my cow pie a bit nutty. I do. Yummy.
It actually does look all right, though. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, if you ignore the name, it's just a pecan tasty bit. So Keith Knight says, "Aha! Suddenly, chocolate for rabbits doesn't seem so dumb." Okay, I'll give you that.
Exactly.
But we can't just leave things lie here. We have to go to extremes. So I searched far and wide and found what I thought was the best excrement inspired candy confectionery, cock crap. It is the sweet, sweet taste of cock. Because rooster's poop is one of nature's best kept secrets. It's fluffy, it's blue, it's sweet, it's magical. It's a tasty treat from under the tail feathers. Get some today. This is a real product, folks. Only in America. Well, I don't know. It could be international, but it is in the American market at least. So rush right out and get some of that. Yes. Cockfighting does happen in the aisles when you're running for your cock crap. Oh my!
Sweet taste of cock.
Yeah.
I'm just going to let that linger for a moment while I read Bjorn's comment. I like moon pies, but cow pies is just not right. I can't argue
my
with
first
that.
moon pie sent to me from Sarge and Kelly. They sent me a very nice fun police.
That's it. They found out about the hide
They
the
come to
cock
get the
crap.
sweet taste of cock.
Oh yes, Pericles. What did you walk in on? Well, I'll tell you, we're talking candies today, from mild to wild, and you happen to be at the wild part. So the tasty treat from under the tail feathers can be yours. If you search high and low, you can find it. Bjorn says, that stuff is not majestic. He gives it 2 thumbs down, but tigers don't have thumbs, so that doesn't count. Paid soy samples, awful names for 1,000, Alex. I'll take that category. Yes, cock crap should be illegal. It is at least dubiously more immoral, but it is a product nonetheless. So I'll take that off the screen now. We need a palate cleanser.
I'll take everyone's word for it on that one.
Yeah. I'll stick to my witchetty grubs, thanks.
2 paws down. Okay, I'll allow that. How is this for real? I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey, people eat Scooby snacks. I don't know what to tell you. So
I, for one, am
True.
glad it exists. I don't want to eat it, but I'm glad that it's out there for people that do.
now I don't know. You've got the grubs on one hand. You got the cockadoodle doo on the other hand. I'm
Why
not
didn't they call
sure.
it cockadoodle doo?
That would have been a better name, right? Maybe it was already taken. I don't know. Let's see. Daredevil Dave says if it's not illegal, it should at least be wiped off. Okay, fair enough. Indeed. Marketing at its finest, folks.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
They leaned hard into that one.
Merchandising. It's all about the merchandising. So we are at the threshold or beyond for Xazyl of Good Friday. And so let's talk some Easter candy. And according to our friends over at candystore.com, they have compiled a list of the worst Easter candy ever. This is from an article that came out in March of this year by Ben George. I just took some excerpts to share with y'all in order to help you on your complex Easter candy journey. We have done exhaustive research surveying over 12,000 customers to create the ultimate ranking of the absolute worst in Easter candy. And bottom of the barrel is, let's talk about Easter candy consumption. This surprised me. In case you didn't know, Easter is a really big candy holiday. More is spent on candy for Easter historically than for Halloween itself. Depending on which data you look at, Easter is as big or bigger than even Halloween. It's a silent monster.
Ooh.
Did not.
Horror movie coming to you. The sequel to Halloween will be Easter.
Dun, dun, dun. The bunny is back. So this is their highlights for what they consider, according to their 12,000 surveyed, the worst Easter candies. Jelly beans, the generic kind. Something called Cheetos Cinnamon Puffs, which I'm not familiar with. Chocolate crosses.
That is weird.
Chicks and rabbits. We'll get into
I
those
know
in a minute.
exactly what those are, yeah.
Sour Patch, white chocolate bunny. Oreo eggs. The chocolate bunny. Now, this is the solid chocolate bunny, and we'll get into that in a minute. Bunny corn, Beeps, and number one, Cadbury cream eggs. Oh my!
People go nuts for the Cadbury cream eggs here. Nuts for them. I am surprised that's number one on the list.
I know. I used
Apparently,
to love them.
they are not well loved, although they are a very traditional thing. You see them in every Easter basket every year. Now, I get this. Generic jelly beans are nasty. They're chalky. They're not made well. You get what you pay for. When you buy the cheap stuff, they're gross. I especially loathe the black jelly beans. I like to call them Satan's boogers.
They are horrible, especially if they're mixed in. It's such a cruel joke that you could play.
Oh, yes. If you grab a handful and you're not expecting the black one, it just ruins the flavor of everything else, in my opinion. I'm not a licorice guy. Some people, it's your thing.
Oh, it is not even licorice flavor. It is some other flavor.
Right.
It's not licorice.
Yeah. They don't make these with actual licorice anymore. They make it with some other like aniseed or some. I don't know what it's called. Our baker friend Epic Badger could probably tell us. But icky, Satan's boogers beware.
Yeah.
Now these, have you guys seen these? I'm not aware of these.
I have no idea. And why are they Easter related?
Never seen them. First of all, on the jelly bean thing though, am I allowed to swear on this channel? I know we've said
absolutely
a couple of times, but if anyone gives me jelly beans for Easter, you can get fucked. Okay,
that's right.
That's
Satan's
not
boogers.
Easter candy. Black ones especially can get lost, but same with have you guys got the black cats? Those candies?
Oh yes,
yeah, they're awful too. Who's messing around with this stuff? Anyway, sorry, moving on. Yes, indeed. Never seen these before.
Yeah.
Cheetos, Sweetos, Cinnamon Puffs. Apparently, these are something that popped out recently in the last few years, and they've been showing up in Easter baskets. I don't know why it's considered an Easter thing, but it is.
Egg shape?
Yeah. I guess. Kind of eggish, maybe, sort of, if you squint. Look at it sideways. Anyway, apparently they're awful. So now we know. Avoid. This one I gotta agree with. I understand the cross is a ubiquitous symbol of a faith. But when you still have our Lord and Savior on the cross and put him in a chocolate confectionery, I'm thinking you're crossing a line somehow. It's just,
this is the very definition of poor taste.
Pun intended.
I'll say I've never encountered one of these in real life, but just
they do exist. I have seen them. Now I'm fully understanding of the Eucharist and eating the body of Christ to your communion. This ain't it, kids. There was much backlash against these because it seems that to come, people can't square the idea of turning a torture device into a yummy chocolate treat. All right. I'm right there with
Hot cross buns are different because they're at least like the symbolism is there, but it's not so in your face as actually having the Messiah crucified for consumption.
Yes. Yeah. Not cool. That's a little cringeworthy in my opinion. These can just, as Xazyl will put it, these can just fuck right off. These are nasty. These, you're not fooling anybody. They're circus peanuts. I'm calling you on it. They're nasty. They taste like foam rubber. They all
taste exactly the same. And they are just,
Yeah, they don't even...
These were when we got the Easter basket. You would eat all the good stuff first.
Right.
Then you would do another round. And then these were like always the last thing with the jelly beans, like in the bottom of the basket. You're picking through the grass. And you're like, is there any? And maybe you didn't even finish them. So, yeah.
Right. So these, it doesn't matter if you buy them fresh or not. They're always stale. They come stale. They're nasty. Ick. Moving on.
Yeah.
What in God's name is this vile creation? I'm all for sour candies, but sour candy, especially a sour gummy candy mixed with creamy white chocolate, blah.
Yeah,
does not seem right. This just seems wrong. I don't know who thought of it.
I think maybe kids would get into it, like fooled by it.
Sure.
The Sour Patch Kids, and kids love the Sour Patch Kids. I see kids grabbing that stuff by the fistful, but turning it into a white chocolate bunny, yeah, I can't get down for that.
No, just not right. Looks like Largo might be frozen, but I guess
he's frozen in disgust.
yeah, it just killed his internet. It was so the next one we got is the Oreo cream eggs. Yeah, so I've never seen these either. So there's some of these worst ones are things I've never actually seen. So filled with soft cream and bits of Oreo cookie. These are no less awkward to eat. And I'll just pull that one back up. That was the 10 worst Easter candies. It looks like Jim. That's pretty bad if it just wrecked his internet. So so we have the bits of Oreo cookie.
I'm surprised that the Oreo cream egg is so high on the list because Oreo cookies are good and chocolate, is typically good. So I don't know why this would be higher on the list than some of those others.
And just to address something, when Jim showed the first slide, I was going to wait till we got to the end. But the Cadbury cream egg seems to be a popular choice amongst a lot of people in the chat there. And like I said, I haven't had one in quite some time, but they used to be. I just remember them as being quite a rarity. They weren't around the whole year. You could only get them around Easter time, and if you had one in your basket, they were usually pretty delicious. But I don't remember. I don't know why it was voted the worst. So this one doesn't seem so bad. Have you ever had these?
No, I've never tried them, so I can't really. I guess I don't really get a vote on it. But I can't imagine that these are worse than what we've already seen.
I think they'd be good. And then this is a controversial one for me too, because when I was a kid, the consensus amongst me and my friends was if you got a solid chocolate bunny, you were getting more chocolate. Those hollow chocolate bunnies, you'd bite them and then the rest of it would fall inside, and they were paper thin. You really weren't getting much, but I guess people didn't like it. So they say, the thing is,
it depends what type of chocolate it is, though, because not all Easter chocolate is the same. You can get a solid chocolate and have more chocolate, but it could taste worse than, say, a Cadbury egg. Cadbury chocolate being my favorite type of egg. If they made a solid Cadbury chocolate bunny, I'd be all over that. That's not too much chocolate. I mean, it probably is for my health, but that's fine. There are certain generic chocolate
Yeah.
bunnies
So the one
that
pictured here, he's saying is 12 ounces. So that is a lot. But typically the
right.
solid bunny would be a lot smaller. And
Yes.
the big hollow bunny, sometimes even with like decorated eyes and
Yeah.
things on it, they would seem to me like not as good a deal, like you're just getting this big hollow bunny, but to each their own.
Sometimes we get the hollowed out bunnies or eggs, and they've got little eggs inside them. That's
Oh,
fun.
that's
That's fun.
interesting. Yeah, that would be good. And then Largo saying lost electricity. Eduardo at it again.
Yeah, get Eduardo on a little bicycle and charge up some electricity for you.
And then bunny corn, Easter candy corn. This is just a blatant ripoff. This is the candy corns, the horrible holiday snack, and they are just repurposed for Easter. I've never encountered
I've never
these
had candy
in real
corn.
life either.
What's the flavor of candy corn? Do you know?
They kind of taste like wax, and they have like their own flavor. Like the consistency
Garbage.
is like
Yeah.
wax, but
Yeah.
they're not good. They're not
Okay.
good. Or some people might like them, but the candy police have taken Largo out.
They got him.
Yep. Oh man. And then Peeps. Peeps are a controversial one because some people love them, some people hate them. It's weird. They're weird. They make me feel weird. The situation needs to be avoided. That is a quote from, I'm assuming, Largo. Peeps are
Yeah.
a regular on your worst holiday candy list. They don't get much love. Outside the diorama art world, they tend to be compared to rubber or sugary foam and the comments. So I'd say this one, either people love them or hate them. And there's kind of like no in between. But, I remember getting them as a kid. And like I said, you would start in your basket and eat all the good stuff first, the best stuff.
Right.
And then you'd go back around. And then by the time you were looking through the grass in the bottom of the basket, there might be some Peeps in there.
The idea is to save at least one of your favorite ones, so you don't finish your candy experience on garbage. You always got one left over to be like savor the flavor.
So let's see what. James Salzberg, how you doing, James? He loves Peeps. Candy corn eggs are awful. Okay, and then he's saying, "Yep, they're awesome." Peeps. Peeps are the most disgusting thing ever invented. Really? Okay. I don't think they're horrible. I'm kind of neutral on them. If you love them, I get it. If you don't like them, I get it too. This is what happens when Cadbury send out their MIB. Johnny's always the oh man. And then Treasure for Trigger Phil saying the cream egg gods have spoken and taken Largo out. Yes.
Now, I, for one, do not believe Cadbury cream egg should have been on the list. So, don't strike me down.
Yeah, I don't think so. They are worldwide. They're coming to get you.
Uh-oh.
So, yep, the reigning champion. They say this is the worst, but I have to disagree. I mean, at least, like I said, when they were rare, if they had these all year round, maybe we wouldn't eat them every day. But they seem to be something that just only appeared once a year. So you you didn't get them in. I didn't get them in great numbers. Maybe one or two. So it was something you only had every once in a while. Welcome back.
It's a conspiracy, I tell you.
Yeah,
Eduardo's out there pecking on the power poles.
I'll say this.
Saying that the candy companies took you out.
Indeed. With the Cadbury cream eggs, I will say this. If you came in out of context right now and you saw Cadbury cream eggs reigning champion, I reckon people would go, yeah, this is the best candy, for Easter. But we're discussing it as the number one worst?
Yes. Now, the reason is, there's a couple of reasons. One, as we'll see in the next slide, they are just a disaster waiting to happen in little kids' hands. They are a gooey liquid fondant, and there's just no way to eat these without making a mess, and especially for youngins. Right. Now, when I was a kid, these weren't horrible because the Cadbury milk chocolate was pretty good. Unfortunately, the Kraft company consumed Cadbury somewhere around 2010, and shortly thereafter changed the formula for their chocolate and cheapened it up. So now, not only do you have this gooey mess on the inside, you have crappy chocolate on the outside. So they're not as good as they were as you remember them as a kid. There's a reason. That's a
Treasures for Trigger agreeing that, in fairness, they used to taste better than they do now. And like I said, they were a rarity. They were a once-a-year thing, so I enjoyed them. Salzburg says they suck.
Makes sense now. It's all making sense.
And there is an art to eating them without making a mess.
Right. Thank you, Thanos Copter. Good to be back. We'll see how long it lasts. We're having inclement weather, so my power might go back out. But that's why Will's here. He's not just a co-pilot. He's my safety valve. So,
and if you haven't already voted, he's the #1 best beard.
No,
nice.
No, I don't. I would have gotten some ribbons or bows or something putting it up.
We'll save that for Christmas.
I knew it was a contest. But
that's it. And Pericles is asking, do you guys do best Easter candies? No, we have not. You have not missed that. We will give some tasty alternatives to these horrid messes here. So, quite a bit we've gone through there.
Now, they said that they surveyed how many people?
12,000 of their customers. One angry guy. Yes, he wrote a stern letter.
Phil.
That's right. Phil McCracken. Know that guy.
Ted.
Yeah. So the 12 of the customers of candystore.com made that survey up, and apparently they do that every year, and this is this year's listing. So on the other side of that, we'll look at a few that we would recommend, and I think people in the chat might even agree. We'll see. When it comes to chocolate bunnies, hollow is the way to go. You get all the fun without the mountain of chocolate that you have to try to consume. This is considered one of the better ones. The Lindt Gold Bunny in dark chocolate is the gold standard. Very fancy. And it's
I've never had the gold standard.
Ounces. Well, this is the year. They're out there.
Yeah. And, I haven't seen the dark chocolate variety of them. Okay.
I am a fan of the dark. I would recommend these. And Goji, you're right. Reese's peanut butter eggs will be on the list. Of course they will. So for your chocolate bunny delights, try the Lindt Gold Bunny. It is in dark, and they do have regular milk chocolate as well. If you guys who are afraid of the dark, I'm just saying.
So the benefit of a hollow chocolate, whether it be in a bunny or an egg, is that you can easily consume it. But if you look in the fridge and you see a solid one with bite marks in it, that's just, you can tell there was an attempt was made and they didn't quite make it through.
Someone has made it into a diabetic coma and given up right after they nibbled the ears. Yes. These, I think, are just, it's a safe bet. It's a Easter egg, plastic Easter egg with Skittles. You can taste the rainbow.
Skittles,
you can't go wrong.
I like Skittles. But if someone gave me a egg-shaped cup filled with Skittles for Easter, I'd be like, come on. What? That's not an Easter treat. That's an everyday treat if I want it to be.
Epic Badger says, break off the ears, pour in some terrible baking oil, reattach the ears using a little melted chocolate. That's a good way to deter people from biting into your bunny. Okay. Fair enough.
Roger that.
There's a story there. I'm going to have to ask the Epic Badger how that came about.
Yeah, what is happening?
Bjorn, you're a man after my own heart. I like my chocolate, like my coffee. Dark. Indeed. Chili optional. Yes, chili and chocolate. Good combo. I wouldn't have known until I came to this part of the world. But chili does work with chocolate. Who knew?
Chili and chocolate flavored beer are also a thing.
Really? Good.
Yeah.
Thanos Copter is not a fan of the Skittles. But, there may be something else on the list that will tickle your fancy. We'll see. James Salzberg says, we always hid cash and change in the eggs. Otherwise, dogs are eating chocolate.
Okay. I hate to disrupt everything, but that just reminded me of it's a childhood memory I'm not too proud of. But
Oh,
a Easter egg hunt. Oh, okay. So my
language.
brother, my larger brother, there, my big bro, he uh, he devised a clever way of rigging the Easter egg hunt every year, and I caught him once, so he brought me in on it. And the way was that he would set himself an alarm, and he'd wake up at like 5 in the morning, and he'd go
Uh-oh.
scope out all the eggs and open them up and look for all the good ones with the money in it, and rehide them in places only he knew, really, really hard places. And then the secret was to just casually find them and clean up. I am one of 6 kids. I have 5 siblings, so um, I caught him one year, and then he was like, "All right, you're in on it, but don't." He's like, "If you ruin this, you're gonna get it." So that year, I remember just my mom looking at me, and she's like, "Wow, Will, you found 3 ones with dollars in them. Interesting." And just her looking at me, I was like, "I can't lie." And but yeah, we woke up early, re-hid the eggs, and we did that for I think a year or two, and then my
You're
guilt got to me.
still
Yeah,
haunted by the guilt all
yeah,
these years
yeah.
later.
So I'm coming clean now. Mom, I'm sorry. Uh, the rest of my siblings, sorry. Not sorry, because
Well,
Well,
you know what? Sorry, you go, Largo.
no, okay. I was just going to move on to the next thing because I
yeah.
know Skittles
So
aren't
sorry.
everybody's favorite. But go ahead. What you
I
got,
was going
Xazyl?
to say, well, it's those sort of memories that help imprint into our minds. It's not always about the good, positive side. And this, in my opinion, this is not a negative memory. This is one of those things that siblings do, right? They try to get
Yeah.
an upper hand. It's a dog eat dog world when you're growing up with siblings. And I think you've cemented that memory in your mind. You might have a little bit of guilt after the fact, but I think that it's those sort of memories that help fully flesh out who we were as kids and growing up into adults.
Oh, at the time, I thought my brother was a genius.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I
it
was
is
like, "Oh,
genius.
that's smart."
Don't feel
So,
bad,
yeah.
buddy.
So sorry for that, but yes.
No, quite
Okay.
all right.
Yeah, it was a great
So,
story.
robin's eggs. I don't know if you have these as something else in Australia, but here there's a brand named Whompers. They're like a malted. It's like a malted chocolate. I think there's like a chocolate and candy shell, and then the malted stuff in the inside.
Yeah,
They're not.
like Maltesers.
Yeah, there you go. They're not terrible. They're just little small eggs.
These would
And
be on the worst list for me, but that's just
really,
me. Yeah, not a fan of them.
well, sage advice from Mr. Salzberg. To quote Smokey Wood from NASCAR, "You ain't cheating. You ain't trying." There you go.
Yeah.
So we've got some robin eggs lovers here. Some, it's kind of a meh, but compared to some of the other candies, it's a safer bet than perhaps a chocolate crucifix or Satan's boogers.
Sure.
And here's a perennial favorite. Everybody in our neck of the woods loves the Reese's peanut butter egg. If you love a Reese's peanut butter cup, it's the same thing. It's just shaped like an egg. You can't go wrong. They're
These are
nummy.
great.
Yeah. I'd much rather see these in the basket than some other bits that we
Always
talked
welcome.
about. Yeah. There we go. Hell yeah! Reese's, baby. Woo! That gets a
Give it
Ric
to me
Flair.
in any shape or form.
That's right. Huzzah! Indeed. Definitely some Reese's lovers in the house. So, and this one, when you get away from the other Cadbury products, these aren't terrible. The mini eggs are nothing like the cream eggs. They have a really nice little bit of chocolate inside. Not as good as the old Cadbury formula, but tolerable. And so definitely recommended in lieu of some of the other gooey stuff out there.
Tell you, the dark
And,
chocolate, didn't like it as a kid, but love it as an adult. That's something
Yeah.
that is like an acquired taste. Yeah.
Exactly. And I agree. It is hard to go wrong with peanut butter and chocolate. Two great
Right.
tastes, taste great together. And pulling some math on us here, the bigger, the better, and the larger sizes have a better peanut butter to chocolate ratio.
Interesting.
Good to
Okay,
know.
cool.
And Ken is saying, "Oh, good, still going. Yes, we're here. Having a beer with you, Xazyl. Cheers. Water
drinking
for
coffee,
Will
though.
and Jim. I can't have a tasty beverage. Come on. Nummy.
Good stuff.
Hi, indeed. And let's see. Bjorn says, if you love Reese peanut butter eggs,
Oh, hell yeah.
hell yeah. There you go. Johnny Sorensen, my friend's father worked at the docks and at work was often sucking on a fisherman's friend. Now, fisherman's friend is an interesting, it's kind of like a cough drop, but it's a candy. I don't know how you explain it, but they're.
Sounds like a
They
Bon
are-
Jovi song.
Could be.
My friend's dad was sucking on a fisherman's friend down at the dock.
Oh, you're telling them fisherman stories again. All right, get the kiddies out of here.
Head down the dock and suck on a fisherman's friend.
Epic Badger says those mini eggs with a sugar coating are like a drug, very dangerous and quick to eat. Yes, you will count up the calories pretty close, and yes, just bourbon. Bourbon goes with everything. It needs nothing. You don't have to say anything else. Just bourbon.
Bourbon goes really great with bourbon.
Yes, with a side
Yeah.
of bourbon.
Yeah.
Ugh. That's right. We're delving into Largo's Lounge after dark. Yes, with some dark chocolate. This is one that is new and I thought was kind of curious. I don't know if anybody has seen this. If anybody in the chat has tried these, please let us know. We have searched high and low. We cannot find these in stores, but they do exist. These are Brock's Late Night Taco Truck jelly beans. Flavors include margarita, churro, salsa, guacamole, beef taco, and horchata. And
Yeah.
the flavor combinations you can mix together with this. I got to try these. I have got to find these, even if I got.
I looked. I searched many stores today and could not find them. Now I did find some online, like on Amazon, for like an inflated price, but I think the original price was like $3 for a bag,
tacos.
and people are charging, $20-$30. But yeah, if I come across these,
Good grief!
I'll definitely try them.
Tacos
Those
are my favorite
scalpers.
meal. So if
Indeed.
I can
Tacos
get
are
tacos and-
delicious. They are
yeah.
absolutely amazing.
If I was on death row, my final meal would be tacos and a stick of dynamite, and then. But if I can get tacos in candy form, I mean, come on, just pop a taco in you.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
Bourbon over candy, yeah. Actually, I'm surprised that the chocolate alcohol bottles aren't on the list.
Oh yeah, I remember those. Do they even make those anymore?
Just do what? Who was it that was saying? Take the top off the candy and put oil in there. Just take the top off your candy and put bourbon in there. Sorry, I can't remember.
There you
who
go.
said
Pour it
that,
in
but
one ear,
I
drink
think-
it out of the other. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
That sounds like a winner. Yeah, I will plug these again. One of my wife's best gifts to me in recent years, the Johnny Walker chocolates. They have a nice touch of Scotch whiskey mixed with dark chocolate, and they are darn
delicious.
good.
Oh yeah.
I'm about halfway through the can. I'm going to have to send her for more, but she found them somewhere in Mexico. I don't know where else they're made. But,
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
They look good.
And Ken is asking for a drum roll, Will.
Oh, gotcha.
We'll have to get some sounds going.
He was talking about Xazyl on death row.
Oh,
Oh.
right.
Well, that's just
Indeed.
dark.
Yes. Horchata is good. That's something I found when I came here to Guatemala. It's a tasty beverage.
Okay,
And,
it's a drink. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a cinnamon milk kind of thing. I don't know how else to explain it. It's kind of cinnamony.
I thought it might have been like a lady of the night that talks too much.
Well, I'm not going
pronouncing
there.
it wrong in my mind.
You're pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah. Let's just horchata.
Don't go there, Will. Don't go there.
Oh,
Haven't seen too many taco jelly beans, but I can get Dunkin' iced coffee flavored jelly beans.
Okay,
Yeah,
that'll be nice.
you know, and that's kind of the thing. If you're gonna get jelly beans, if you have to have jelly beans, go for the gourmet. There's all kinds of stuff, whether it's Jelly Belly or some of the other guys out there. They're making some great flavors. And
what was the yucky
Yeah.
flavored ones? Who were they?
oh, that was like for Harry Potter. They had like earwax flavored and booger flavored
Oh,
and all kinds of crazy
remember
stuff.
popcorn flavored jelly beans? And I think one of my brothers
Yeah.
mixed them in with the bowl, and they were just one of those. I hated it.
When I was out in California, I got to visit where they make some of the Jelly Bellies, and I remember trying. They had peanut butter and jelly beans, and put them together, and
Yeah,
Really?
that can't be
tasty treat.
bad.
Yeah. So they are good. Epic Badger again. Mexico horchata is yes, rice and cinnamon milk. That is correct.
Okay.
But in Spain, they use tiger nuts to make the milk.
Wait
I
a
don't want to
minute.
be the one to have to milk that tiger. I'm telling you that right now. You can't
Tiger
pay me
nut.
enough.
Take a glass of tiger nut, and then I'll meet you at the docks. and we'll-
That's
not
right.
gonna
For the
fisherman's
fisherman's friend. Oh, we're going downhill,
Oh,
kids.
my
In a
God.
hurry. And that brings us to the end of our confectionery roller coaster. Thank you, Xazyl. Good
Hey,
Lord.
thank you.
We made it through. It
Yeah,
almost one
Definitely
piece.
an interesting list. Like I said, there were some on the worst and some on the best that I thought should be,
Yeah,
moved over
bit of a
there.
switch.
But
Yeah.
to each their own. And it's
That's it.
all candy at the end of the day, so it's all kind of good. Like
Right.
the best candy versus the worst candy is still better than no candy, I guess. So, but yeah.
Oh, yes. Indeed. Bjorn is around, and yes, we've said his trigger word. Anything with tiger in it. So
That's a different eye of the tiger.
that's right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ken
Dun,
said
dun,
"I've been to
dun.
Mexico once. I wasn't sober the whole time. Hashtag what's water?
Ken loves his hashtags. He'll hashtag anything. Literally anything. Love you, Ken.
The good stuff. Oh yes.
There it is again. Hashtag full bladder. If you just said full bladder, I'd understand what you meant. I don't know who's the hashtag for. Guys, I got to say thank you for having me in the lounge. I put on my best lounge shirt, threw the fire on,
Indeed.
and thought that if I'm going to be here at the best place to hang on YouTube, then I got to at least put a little bit of effort in. Did we get a result on the poll? Because I think Will should have been the winner.
Oh, if
Will
for
let
some
me-
strange
yeah,
reason
I was going to say let me see if I
someone
can pull
voted
up
for
the poll
me
here.
over Xazyl, I concede this win to Xazyl. And I'd like to just say I have been
like
a
I-
huge fan of Xazyl for many years, and to appear finally, this is the first time I've appeared on screen with him, is an absolute honor. So
Well, we'll have to
Indeed.
rectify that and do it more often. But yeah, thanks, guys. I super appreciate it. It's been fun. I guess for me, being able to hang out, because you guys have the best show on YouTube when you guys are talking Action Force, going through the lore, exploring the lore of Action Force, and to be a part of that as well. It's just like this has been the best week ever. I can't thank you guys enough for having me on here. I know you guys only do a 45-minute show, but I ramble on so much. We've gone to an hour and a half. It's just I did not want it to end. I'm just gonna keep going. Let's never stop.
We got to end it. We got to end it on a high note. Best beard goes to Xazyl with 58% of the vote.
Well, all I can say is, guys,
you were
rock what
actually
you
a
got.
close
There's
second.
no such thing as beard shame. Yeah, if you got it, flaunt it. If you can't, do your best and just rock what you got. But thanks, guys, again for having me. Thanks to everyone in the chat that showed up to watch me ramble on about Candy, Sarge, and playing with our action figures. And I appreciate those that are coming over here from the Slaughterhouse for subscribing to this channel. You guys are not going to be disappointed. I guarantee you. This is the place to
Well,
be.
thank you, Xazyl. This is what the lounge is all about. Getting together with our buddies on the interwebs and just hanging out and goofing and having fun. I am
Speaking
a
of
little
goofing, if I do
dismayed.
this, you guys are like puppets.
Wait, whoa, hey, where's that hand going? You buy me dinner first. I got to say, though, I am a little disappointed that we got a fireplace instead of a barbecue, because when you have an Aussie in the house, you expect some shrimp on the barbie.
Oh. All right. Next time. I'll have
Okay.
it on there. But when in Rome, you put on the fancy stuff. The fancy old fireplace, fanciest shirt I own, which if this is the fanciest shirt I own, I'm in trouble. But yeah. This is the best I can come up with.
You look handsome. You look fit.
And when is the Sergeant Slaughter episode of AF3 coming out featuring Xazyl here?
That I believe is
next episode?
May the 1st, because next will be Karak, and then
All
we
right.
have a few beasties and baddies in between there.
Okay.
Speaking of which, I'll be getting together with our buddy Ken from Toy Connections and Aaron from Helidope Toys to talk wrestling villains on Beasties and Baddies in the near future. So we'll be recording that later. So that's my shameless plug. Yes, Eddie's disease. Thank you, Xazyl. Thank you, Will. Thanks everybody for putting up with us and my goofy internet and electricity. So. We will sign off, and hopefully you guys have a great Easter. If we don't see you before, we'll see you probably next Monday. So enjoy.
Thanks. Have a good night.